G'day. What you find here is this is the next installment of the roof hangers. Okay, what I've done is I've cut our rectangular disc in the bandsaw, cut it into pieces like this. I have to go handheld, my camera mount broke. Oops. Anyway, so what we have done here is we've set it up in the lathe, and what we do is we just eyeball it, try and get it in the center. Okay, so what we're going to do is, with this bigger section over here, this is going to be our back, and this is all this here is going to be our stem that sticks out of the track. So what you do is you line it up roughly in center, and what we do is we try and get these the same, the jaws, but because we've got a larger piece here, you just really need to sort of eyeball it and take your best judgment. So that looks pretty good to me. And what we do is we can turn it on and have a look. Well, it's pretty good. Now all we need to do is start turning. When you're turning things in the lathe and you're eyeballing it, what you need to try and do is you need to, when you touch on the tool, when you start turning, if it hits on all four corners, then you know you're doing well. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to rough it down to 26 mil. So ideally what will happen, all this, if all this here doesn't clean up, the only spot we really need is this back bit. Ideally I've left on a bit more material when I cut it, just to try and get that 26 mil there. Sometimes there's a little bit here nor there. But anyway, it's not really a critical size, the 26. Then after we turn the 26 down, then we turn our next one. I'll show you when we get there. First of all, I'll turn this down to 26. Okay, we've turned that down to 26, so that looks pretty good. What we need to do now is we're just going to face the end. Once we face the end, what we'll do is we'll put a center in it. Then we can start turning this down to our, roughing it down to our finished size, and that should be all good. Alright, here's the first part in the two-step process. Okay, so what we've done is we've got the distance from here to here doesn't really matter. It's only just a cosmetic appearance. It could be this long, well actually it can't be that long, but at least like that long anyway, because basically we've got a little bit here that sticks out of the channel, and whatever we've got on here is a bonus. Okay, so I've turned that down to 8 mil. This shoulder here, that's 90 degrees, and then and the outside diameter here is 26. Okay, so I've turned some other ones up. Alright, so as a judge, see, we are a bit longer than this one. Turn some others up. This one here is way longer. I suppose I could fix it, but it doesn't matter at all. Well, at the moment, we'll find out later on when we actually go to put them up. But yeah, so that's done. I've just put a chamfer on this corner and that corner just with a file when the lathe's running. Okay, so the next part of the process would be to take it out of the chuck, turn it around, put it in the chuck, and we will turn using this edge here, and we'll just true it up via the outside there. Then once we set one of them up, we just do them all. Just then face it to length. G'day, we're at the bandsaw today. What we're going to do is we're going to just cut down the back here so we don't have that much wastage. Then we can put this back in the pot. What I do is I just clean that up at the same time. So I'll just cut that off, then just give it a clean cut. So that'll be good. Alright, what happened earlier was I gave one of these to my daughter and she dropped it. So it come in two. Okay, so I thought at the time that was bad. Well, I didn't like the fact she did that, but anyway. But what it did show that it, and when it landed, it just landed like that, and it snapped. Okay, so it does have strength in it, but if you are going to use this for like high strength, I'd probably put a bolt through that. Or what I'd do is I'd completely remove that and just use it as a disc. But anyway, so this should be alright just to hang our models from the ceiling. So it's not a high load on it, so which will be good. But anyway, with this one here, I just put it back in the pot, clean it up, put it back in the pot, and we'll be fine. Alright. So we have a few to do. Well, not that many. Okay, so we just cut them off. Then we'll just clean this other bit here for the pot. And then when we go back on the lathe, hold it in the chuck, hold it here. Then we'll just face that down to the size that we need for the to slide in our track. So here we go. Okay, I've cut off the back of all those, so we can now put the back into the wastage pot. I'll cut that before I put it in. Well, so next what we have to do with these is we'll put in the lathe and we'll just turn this diameter here down. Sorry, we'll turn the width of this down. This one looks like it's almost about right on size, so this will be easy clean up. Some of these others are probably just a little bit much, but it'll do. Won't take too long to fix those. Anyway, there. G'day. What I've got here is I've got the little 3-jaw chuck. I've mounted it in the 4-jaw. So the reason why I do that is that when I've got little parts like this is just an easier way to keep them all in the just repeatability is much better in the 3-jaw than the 4-jaw, especially when you won't have to set up as much. Well, what we need to do is we put it up against the back of the jaw. If we put them all at the back of the jaw, they should all be about right. There could be a bit of fluctuation, but majority of times they'll all be about the same size. That looks good to me. Like I said before, that on the last video, that I probably left a little bit too much on some of these. So we'll just have to see how we go. I cut majority of the backs off on the bandsaw, as you saw before. So what we need to find a size that we're going to Okay, we need to come down to 7 mil. As you can see here, my tool's not quite on center because I've just got a bit of a burr here. Well, now it really doesn't matter if the tool's on center for this part. Depends on what you're doing. You can get away with the tool not being on center. All we do here is we just file that off, so that won't be much of a concern. Because this part has a smaller shaft. You can't necessarily take too big of a cut. So we can take 1 millimeter or something like that, but I wouldn't take much more than that, because basically what we're doing is we're driving it on this smaller shaft. And then so the bigger cut you take, you can actually the torque of the motor will actually like rip that off, break it in half. So you don't need to take a big cut. a 1mm cut. You're almost on size. When you're putting the next part in, so what you do is you put it in, put it up against the face, give it a bit of a twist while tightening the jaw. All you have to do is just nip the 3-jaw chuck up, and we're right to go. So what you do is you make a mark of the previous ones that you've done on your compound slide. Then each new one that you put in, you just go to that mark and you're pretty much done. A few of these ones, these are the ones with the larger material on. Not as though I'm in a hurry to get these done. So I could be a bit more cautious. Ideally, this one should be the final cut. Okay, what you can see here is I've got a burr on this edge here, and just in the center here where it didn't quite, since my tool's not quite on center. Okay, so what we do is we just take the part out now. We'll try it in our guide. We'll do all the parts. Then what we'll do is we'll put it back up in the 3-jaw, then just get a file and file that and just do that front edge, then we're done. Yay. Okay, I've finished facing them to size. What I'll now do is I'll just put a chamfer on this edge here, and I'll just touch that up with the file. I'll do those both with a file. I just use my small needle nose file. Sorry, my needle file. Just be careful when you're working around rotating machinery. It's got a bit of a I could get the tool and actually put a 45 on there, but I don't really need to. File's good enough. Just run the file over the flat. That feels good to me. It's probably not quite 45, but the burr's gone anyway. Take that out, put another one in. We've turned all these and they all fit in the track when it's out of the ceiling. But what we now have to do is we have to try these up in the ceiling in the track, because there may be compression on the track. If there's compression on the track, then these won't slide as well. So they all slide quite alright. All we have to do now is we have to drill a hole in here, then we can put the fishing line through and hang whatever we want. I think that's pretty good at the moment. Next one is try it up in the roof. There. Okay, the next step we have to do is we have to drill a hole through here. So in the drill press, I've got probably a 2mm drill or something like that. So I'm just going to line it up by eye. We could fixture it and try and do them all the same, but just to add to the speed, line it up by eye, and just take it easy. And there we go. One hole all the way through. Just deburr that. It's not critical that the hole be in the centre. Okay, then we can put any sort of hook that fits through there, or we can just hang it off the put some fishing line through it and just. So yeah, no, that's done. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one. All our slot pieces are done now. They all have holes drilled through. They've all been deburred. Now, a final step is stick it up in the roof and put a hook through it and try and hang some stuff on it. Okay, there's the proof of the pudding. It is done. I've got my little holders up. They're holding quite fine. There's not a lot of weight in the pieces. I only have like Christmas bauble hooks that are hooking into the plastic pieces. So everything you see up there, the roof panel and the bits of plastic, they're all free. The planes, this big plane here that's spinning around, that one was given to me free when I was a child. I got a couple of die-cast model planes hanging on the roof. They were bought. Just there, just here, that one's a Red Baron balsa plane. It was rather old, and as you work with the balsa, the first time I'd worked with balsa, and it's rather brittle, I think because of the age. So I still have the plans, so I'm going to continue to finish it, but until I get balsa and things like that, it's just hanging up there. These ones over here, the white ones, they're one of the airships that I was building. I will probably continue to build it. It still looks rather funky. Yeah. So they go in, they slide in alright, so it's not a problem. We had to go back to the lathe to fix up some of those the plastic pieces, because what was happening is in the track, when they secured the panel to the wall, they screwed through the track into the wall, so there's some burr on the inside of the where it's screwed to the wall. So when you try and slide your piece along, it just got stuck there. So I did fix all of them, but the one where the cone is at the moment, the rear cone for the airship, it's stuck there. I'm not exactly sure how to get it further. Maybe I just get a screwdriver and bash it on the back, but at the moment it's quite fine there. So that's the only one out of all the tracks that don't quite go all the way. Okay, so I do have an issue in the center of where the where both panels meet. Some of the hangers, they won't slide all the way along, which I sort of knew that. Whereas I have to slide in one way, then if I want to use the same track, then I got to slide it in the other way. I didn't want to remachine the holders. I think they're quite alright at the moment. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. It has taken a little while now. It's only when I've been wanting to do something. So I'm quite happy with that. Thumbs up. See ya.